All right, so I'm back on the John Deere. I got the deck off, so I got a few more parts in. And this is what I'm working on. So this jack shaft right here was locked up. So, I mean, you can hear it, listen. It took 2 days of air curl and heat and that pry bar to break this thing loose. And I've been trying to get it up gradually, like trying to get it up off the shaft, because I got new bushings for it. I got the new idler, the other idler, and I got the new bearing that goes in here. This thing was not even tensioning it at all. It was completely like locked over here. So nothing was really working right. So I just kind of want to reevaluate this deck, and I'm kind of glad I did. So I wire rolled it off camera, trying to clean it up. When I did, found there's some cracks in the deck. So when I cleaned all this up and get it straight and try to weld it up. Got a little bit more like smoothing to do on this and kind of get this ready to get put back together. About as good as I can. And I'll put a lot of anti-seize on there so it keeps from happening again. So what happens when you don't do deck maintenance. And then I've got these welds kind of prepped out, cleaned up. I'm gonna try to just do a little tacking, make sure nothing busts out on me. I measured the deck in this 1/8 inch, so I've got the machine set. 1/8 inch. Let's see what happens. All right, so yeah, do a little touch-up painting. That's off the rust. It'd be nice to get this deck sandblasted and repainted, you know, new stickers and all that. But meh, I ain't trying to restore it. All right, so I've been fighting with this thing for a while. So basically, there's an odd-shaped bearing in here, and that's what it looks like. All right, so I got a Stens. Part number 230-409. This will fit the John Deere 111 jack shaft. Anyways, I have no good way to press this out. I need something to go up underneath and catch it, and then I can beat it, but I can't put it in a vise. I really can't do nothing. But I'll tell you what, out of everything that I replaced, this thing sounds good. So I'm probably just gonna leave that for now. If it goes out, I've got this as a backup. So let's put it together. So let me run through the part numbers real quick. So this is M80084. These are for these two bushings. And then I also got a new idler pulley here, John Deere, part number AM121238. Set that aside. And then I got a new cap. I'll show you how this cap goes on. It didn't have one. So this is an M862. Right? No, sorry, M88230. So we'll put that on in a minute. So I'm just putting anti-seize lubricant everywhere. Hey look, no more squeaking. Look at that. Don't need a cheater bar to move it. So got new bushings in, so one goes in the top, one goes in the bottom, with plenty of anti-seize. Here's where that cap goes to kind of seal that bearing up. But I mean, get off that. It doesn't really make any noise. Yeah, so when I first started yesterday, this wouldn't move at all. without the cheater bar. All right, so here's the clutch. I didn't film this, but as soon as I let the bolt off, this thing dropped. Normally, you got to take heat and pullers and all kind of other stuff to get it off the shaft here, but it just dropped down because I've got an engine oil leak on the rig. So I think that helped it out. But anyways, I got the main pulley off for the dry belt, the clutch off. Here's the noise I've been hearing. So this is actually not even a Deere clutch. This is an aftermarket clutch. So yeah, those bearings are going out. All right, it's time to change that. I'll get another one of those on order. So what I'll do is I'll put it all back together. I'll put some anti-seize up here, put everything back together. But I did spray it down with degreaser, so I'm gonna pull it out. You see it dripping. I'm gonna pull it out and kind of spray it all off. And I'll probably put the deck back on and then just basically take everything back apart again at some point. So while I'm waiting on the clutch, I got this guy in. So Deere did not put hour meters on these smaller 100 series, so I think that was a mistake. So I'm gonna put one in. So I got this off of Amazon. Here's the retaining bracket. And I've already made up the negative wire. I'm just gonna go straight to the battery. So it's already soldered underneath. Heat shrink tubing, the right connector, and this will be for the positive side. I just got to go figure out on the accessory side, like when the key is on, which one's got power, and that'll be the one I tie into. Or I could just go straight to a switch, you know, underneath, but I'd have to cut it on each time I cut on the machine. So, and then this guy right here, this is the grommet for the fuel tank. So the previous owner told me he replaced the fuel petcock underneath. It seems a little jiggly. So I've got one of those on order, and I've already got this in. So that needs to be changed. So that's between the hour meter, the fuel petcock, and the clutch. I should be done with this machine. While I have a dislike for made in China stuff, the only place to really get what you need. So I just got this guy in. So this is my 2-inch hole saw. So drill a hole for this. Let's get started on it. All right, so I've been checking this thing. So I got 2 wires that are hot when the ignition is on. So you got a yellow wire right here. Let's go get our, whoa, tried to start it. So you got a red wire here. That's a jumper right there. And then I got this yellow wire right here that's hot. I'm thinking let's go off the yellow wire. I want to pull this thing apart and take a look at it anyway. All right, so I just got the plug off. So here's the back of it. So if you look here, you've got 2, 4, 5, and then this one off to the side. That runs to the electric PTO clutch, which, yeah, so definitely we can use that yellow wire. Man, I need to clean this up. This is bad. All right, so I just made up my positive wire. This is how much room I have down here. So I think I'm gonna put it down, right down in there. See, I've got room. There's the yellow wire I'm gonna cut. All right, so everything works as it should. So what I did is I tied in to the yellow wire in there, so which is an accessory wire going to the PTO clutch switch. So I guess it makes it hot. Anyways, I tied into that. So I've got my negative right here, tied into the battery, and I've got my hot wire. So So PTO works. I checked all that out. My lights still work. Boom, everything works. So I always dab some dielectric grease on my connections. So here we go. So we got all we have is simple negative and positive. So let's try this out here. Yeah. Slide that back in. There's our positive lead. So let's find out what's gonna happen. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. You can hear it clicking along. Key off, nothing. Key on. Like it. All right, we're winning on this one. We're winning. So the only thing I got to do is drill a hole. So I drilled a pilot hole right here, but my drill will not chuck up that bigger bit that I got, the hole saw bit. So once I get this drilled out, which I'm gonna go try to borrow a bigger drill, like right now, we'll go ahead and mount this thing in. It means we got to pull the battery back out, pull everything loose, and just hook this in right here, and we're done with this part of it. So all right, so here's what I did. So there's the yellow. I spliced it. Wait till the wires are on. Let's get this thing out of the way. All right, so there it is. This is what I tied into. So I just cut the yellow, soldered everything together, put heat shrink all over everything. So we gotta get this cleaned out in the bottom here, and this should install with no problems. There we go. Well, like that. Might need that hole is a little big. I was worried about that. And it should stay just fine. All right, so that's done. Don't drop it, Sean. Don't drop it. All right, let's try it out. Yeah, here it is. With the factory looking hour meter installed. At some point, I want to come back and change this fitting right here and try to solder in these other two wires into one. So I only have one fitting there. Probably not on the positive side, but definitely on the negative because I got 3 wires. So it's running. No, it's not. Oh yeah, that looks professional. I like that a lot. like that. Deere should have put these on here from the factory. I mean, they should have, any lawnmower, riding mower should have an hour meter on it. It's too easy to put one in. I mean, what would it cost them? An extra $20? But it's got one now. All right, so the clutch is on order. Hopefully it'll be here in a couple days. Same with the fuel petcock. Oh, one other thing I've got to fix. So right here, there's the seat safety switch. This is the one that came. This is like original Deere that was in the seat that I took off and threw away. That won't work. So then I bought this guy here. This is supposed to be the switch that goes on it, but this is a normally open switch, right? So if you sit on the seat and you throw in the PTO, it kills the engine, right? So if this is normally open, I think I need a normally closed switch. So I'm gonna play with it some more. So here's the wiring harness. I cut it, spliced it, just to kind of get it in. But so this is the other problem. This is the other, not problem, just a little something side project I'm working on with it, just to get all the safety features back on it. So yeah, I don't know if I'll film that. That's just something I'm playing with. All right, so here's the new clutch. Here's the old clutch. These things are not, this is not right. It's not right. This one, supposedly it's a John Deere, but it's just higher than this one. I don't really get it. And there it is. It's definitely a height difference. I don't know. So the other problem is the keyway, the key for the keyway is on the shaft. It stayed with the machine. This one's got a keyway in it, but it's part of this inner shaft deal here. This is not right. I tried to get it out and I wound up breaking this guy. So, I mean, what the hell is going on here? And this piece, maybe it's still stuck in the machine. I put some grease on it and it came pretty dry. It's just kind of, I don't know. This is bizarre to me. So my neighbor came over and he suggested just rebuilding this one. I think that's where I'm at. Unfortunately, I just pissed away $80 on this guy and I should just rebuilt this one. So I'm just going to grease this guy back up. I'm going to research the bearings, probably just rebuild the bearings in this one, and yeah, and just sit this and decide till I can figure out exactly what the heck is going on, because this is just not right. Something is wrong here. All right, guys and gals. All right, here we go. Dumbass 101, paying my stupid tax again. There's my stupid tax. Listen to that. It was a bone dry inside. I packed grease all inside it and it quieted it way down. So I probably won't even rebuild this one, but I am going to figure out what the hell is going on with this guy. Like, this is not right. This is different than this. I need to look into the schematics a little bit more. Obviously, I broke this little ring deal here. Actually, this thing is, listen to this, tight. It's tighter than that guy. So I don't know. I'm going to play with this, try to figure these clutches out. I know there's 1,000 different clutches out there, and this is an aftermarket, but whatever. But it does move more freely. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if that means there's less torque going to the blade deck when this thing is on, or more. I don't know. I'm going to do some more research. I'm going to pack a little bit more grease in here, and I'm going to put this thing back on, and I'm going to run this thing till it fails. And I'll start working on the other one. All right, so I got the deck off again. So there's the washer that I changed. And here's that fuel petcock I pulled off. It wasn't working. Like, I turned it off and fuel was still pouring out of it. So yeah, good time to replace this. All right, so here's the manual again. Just kind of follow the steps. It does say put some grease in it on the fitting, so I did that. So all right, so there it is. It's tucked away up in here, but yeah, it's got a new grommet and petcock valve. And I'm gonna put a new, I cut the fuel line back just a little bit and put a new retainer on there. Seems to be holding. Oh, this has been fun. So I just gotta kind of clean up, put the deck back on. Yeah, I'm pretty much done with this thing. I keep saying that, but I mean, short of the clutch at this point, this thing's breaking. There's the hour meter. You finally turned 1 hour. All right, so you saw in the video, I had this thing running and I was just holding it by hand. As soon as I let off, it was starting to kill the engine. So it is a normally closed switch. Basically this little cover right here deal comes off, so I took it off the normally open one and put it on here. So the next thing is to try to bolt this up. And so it just kind of goes up in there. So this is gonna be a difficult fit without taking the seat off. Here it is. I got it all kind of buttoned up in there, if you can tell. So, hopefully this is done. Let's try it out. Nice. That repair is done, so everything's done. I know I keep saying this, but everything's done. I got the switch in. You heard it on video. As soon as I kind of hopped off the seat, it wanted to cut off. Yeah, short of the clutch at some point. That's just a minor thing. Now I just gotta wait for spring and cut some grass.